Hi BC, it's Rob here with another video, and had quite a busy weekend last weekend. I went to a record shop on Friday, and on Saturday I went to Record Fair in Manchester, and I met up with a VC member, a guy called Callum Rhodes, 21 years of age, and yeah, it was nice to meet him. Great guy. If you've not checked out his channel, it's just Callum Rhodes. And yeah, I'm going to talk about that meetup in my next video, because I picked up some great stuff, but I picked up some stuff from the record shop on Friday, so I want to show those. In the background, got a little bit of Fun-Loving Criminals and the remixes. I've had this album for probably about 15 years. When I used to DJ a bit, I used to play this quite a lot. So yeah, a bit of Fun-Loving Criminals. Now, this record shop was in New Mills, which is about a 30-minute drive from here. I'd never actually been to New Mills before. Nice little village in the Peak District. And I found Gareth's shop quite easily. Now, Gareth was at the record fair a week before, and I promised I'd go and have a look at his shop, and yeah, I'm glad I did. Bookshop upstairs, and downstairs was the vinyl, and yeah, I made my way down the steep steps, and Gareth was there cleaning records and putting stuff on Discogs, pleased to see me, and we had a little chat, and then I had a bit of a root in his bins. That's a really good offer in there. Buy 3 albums and the third is half price, whichever is the cheapest. So yeah, some good deals. He knocked a little bit off anyway, because we had a nice chat and made me a cup of tea. So yeah, it was a nice day. Now, what did I buy? Let's get on to it. Bought this album, Special, AKA, and In the Studio. And every album had one of these little leaflets, you know, with the price, description, condition, a little bit about the album. So yeah, it was a nice touch. So yeah, it was only £6 this. It's an album from 1984. This is when Terry Hall had left the Specials. So it's on 2-tone. So this was sort of a Jerry Dammers project. Cost quite a lot of money to make this album, I believe, and yeah, it's got free Nelson Mandela on it, which was a big hit in the UK. A song called What I Like Best About You Is Your Girlfriend, which is a favourite of mine. This album's, you know, it's quite a gloomy album. I mean, you've got to remember when this album came out in 1984, you know, the UK was going through quite turbulent times. You know, and this album reflects that. You know, the miners' strike was coming to an end, and there was a lot of division in the country, and like I say, this album paints that picture pretty well. So it's not what I would call a joyous listen, but it's an album I used to have on cassette, so I was really pleased to see it. You don't see it very often, so you know, for £6 I was well happy. So I love the sleeve as well. So yeah, Special, AKA, and In the Studio. Now, this is a bit of a sidetracker. I picked this album up for £1 a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't show it. Now, bit of an 80s throwback, Swing Out Sister, and it's Better to Travel. Now, 1986, you know, I was into the Smiths, I was into New Order, but good soulful pop, I've always been a fan of it. And this album, the singles came out first. Breakout was a big hit in the UK, and it was a big hit in the US as well. A track called Surrender, a track called Twilight World, Fooled by Your Smile. And I've actually been playing this album quite a lot. You know, it brings back a lot of memories. You know, I was like 22 in '86, and you know, having a really good time, having loads of fun, and this album really reminded me of 1986. The members of this band, Corinne, who's the singer, I absolutely love. I've been watching a few videos on YouTube of her, and you know, she's amazing. And on the videos, they're really having a good time. You can see they're really enjoying the music. And the drummer from this band, he was actually originally in Magazine, who were a punk band in the late 70s, and he went on to form a certain ratio with the other guy from Swing Out Sister. But yeah, I mean, it's unashamed soulful pop, and I love it. So really pleased to pick this up for £1. So yeah, Swing Out Sister. Now, pick this record up from Gareth's shop. Modern Lovers live. Now, Jonathan Richman. I remember Roadrunner. I really like that single. And Egyptian Reggae was an instrumental, which was a big hit in the UK. But you never really see Jonathan Richman records. You know, he kind of disappeared. But I remember watching the film There's Something About Mary, and he made an appearance in that, you know, was singing. And I've always liked his sort of childlike lyrics and simple delivery, you know. And this is a live album, and I'm not really a big lover of live albums, but this album, you know, put it on and there was a real warmth from the audience. You know, you could tell Jonathan was really having a good time, and it's a really enjoyable album. I really recommend anyone seeing this album to pick it up. So yeah, Modern Lovers live, Jonathan Richman at his best. Now, a bit different from Jonathan Richman, Public Images, and this is what you get. Now, you only wanted £3 for this. You know, £3 for a Public Image album. You know, it's unheard of. You know, the prices in Gareth's shop, very, very reasonable. I love that pill. I love that. Now, I've got quite a lot of Public Image on CD, but not on vinyl. I'm always looking for Public Image, and when I find it, it's always beat up. You know, it's always in a state, so I just leave it. And when I saw this for £3, I thought, what's the catch? It's in pretty good condition. This is Not a Love Song on it. The thing I love about John Lydon is, you know, he just sticks two fingers up to everybody, really. I remember when the single Public Image came out in '78. I love that track. And then he did a track called Deaf Disco, you know, and I thought, I'm leaving that one alone. It was just totally, you know, I wasn't in my comfort zone at all with that track. And then he did The Flowers of Romance, which I really liked. And he's still touring now. You know, he's produced a good body of work now. And, you know, when you see him interviewed, you know, he's still the same John Lydon, Johnny Rotten that he's always been, you know. And I really like Public Image, so really happy to pick this up for £3. Public Image. Now, pick this album up. Beast Inside. Yeah, more in Spiral Carpets. Now, picked up Devil Hopping last week, and like I say, I've got all the CDs, but finding it on vinyl, not easy. And this one was a tenner, so it's in really good condition. Now, this album came out in 1991, and you know, the first album, Life, was really well received. You know, really organ-driven indie music, part of the Manchester scene. This album's totally different. I mean, the lead single, Caravan, is more of the same, but you know, it really is an introverted album. It's not an easy listen, but I've always really liked it. And you know, I was reading online about it. It's the 8,994th best album of all time. So you know, there's plenty of albums ahead of it. But when I saw it for a tenner, you know, I was all over it. So really pleased to pick it up. It's Spiral Carpets and The Beast Inside. Now, when I've been in the record shop for a couple of hours, I had a nice chat with Gareth, and he told me that he had a warehouse with about 50,000 records in it, and look on his website if I see anything, just drop him a line and he'll pull it out for me. And you know, I was asking him what sort of music he was into, because when you go in an independent record shop, they want to talk to you. You know, he could be sat there for hours and nobody go in, because the shop's more just like a front, really. You know, he's earning his money online, but he just likes to have a hub that people can go to. And when he says that when he does record fairs, if people know he's got a shop, you know, they kind of trust him a little bit more. And it's a great shop. Now, I started chatting to him and asking him what music he liked, and he pointed to this album. Yeah, The Wave Pictures and Bamboo Dinner in the Rain. Now, I'd never ever heard of this band before. Nice label. Never heard of them before in my life. So I said, put it on, let's have a listen. After about 30 seconds of hearing the first track, I said, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, it was £16 and on Amazon it's 25 quid. They've done 12 albums. They're from Leicestershire, which is in the Midlands, in the UK. And, you know, it's raw. It's, you know, the first album came out in 2008. It's a guitar, a couple of guitars and a drum. It's, like I say, it's very raw. It reminded me a little bit of Jonathan Richman. It reminded me of a bit of Lou Reed. Alex Turner. You know, I could hear a little bit of the Arctic Monkeys. It's folky, but it's not easy to find anything out about these guys. I mean, this album came out in 2016, and you're not going to find this in a bin for a quid. You know, but you know, if you go on YouTube, type in The Wave Pictures, give them a listen, because I'm sure that there's quite a few people that really enjoy them. So, you know, it's a big thumbs up for me. I've ordered another album off Amazon, and that'll be coming in a couple of days. An album that they went in the studio with just some lyrics, and they produced an album in a day. So I'm intrigued to hear what that's going to sound like. It's got some good reviews. So yeah, and you know, it's not new music, it's old music. I mean, they've been around for well over a decade. You know, they're in it for the music. You know, they're not on a big label or anything. It's kind of DIY music, but I love it. I found a band that I really like. It's exciting when you find a band you like. So I just thought I'd let everyone on the VC know about them. Maybe check them out. So yeah, Wave Pictures. Now, the last band is a band that my son's been talking about for about 3 years. You know, my son used to have a radio show when he was a student, and he told me about this band, and the name of the band put me off straight away. So this is a band that probably a lot of people have heard of, but maybe the name puts them off. I would say get past the name and give their music a listen, because you're in for a treat. You know, I've took some time to listen to the music recently, and I don't like all of it, but they've got 13 albums out, and the band in question is this band, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This album's called Paper Mache Dream Balloon. Now, these guys are from Melbourne in Australia, and you even get the lyrics with it. And this album came out in 2016. It's the 7th album. Now, I've written down all the kind of genres that this band fit into, and their albums are so diverse, it's unbelievable. But there's something for everybody, you know. I mean, psychedelic rock, garage rock, acid rock, progressive rock, experimental rock, heavy metal, psychedelic folk, boogie rock, and you know, there's literally something for everybody. You know, this album is a mainly acoustic album, but it's so mellow and so enjoyable, and you know, when you listen to some of their other albums, you think, you know, where's that come from? I mean, my son, I text my son the other day, and when I text Alex, it can take him a day to answer a text. And I texted him and I told him that I'd ordered a King Gizzard album. And within 20 seconds, he'd text me back and said which one. So when I told him, he went, oh, one of the jazzy ones. So, you know, again, look past the name. The name put me off, and the tracks that my son played to me, I didn't really like. But like some kind of people who like prog, like King Gizzard. And, you know, I'm not a prog guy, but there's something for everybody. So check them out. So I've got this album, and then bought this album. This album came today. Yeah, another album. Great artwork as well. This one's called Sketches of Brunswick East. Now, this is kind of a homage to the Sketches of Spain by Miles Davis, which came out in 1960. And yeah, and this is on lovely black vinyl. Really nice stuff. And you know, this album is like a jazzy. Obviously, if it's influenced by the Sketches of Spain album, so if you're a Miles Davis fan, you're going to be interested. And again, check it out. It's an absolute delight. You know, it's smooth. You know, the albums that I like by King Gizzard, you know, the influences to me, I can hear a bit of Jethro Tull on the previous album. Love, I can hear the Kinks, a little bit of XTC. You know, it's a real, it's been a pleasure for me. The only problem is, you know, in 2017 they released 5 albums, and this is the third of the 5 albums, and they did this with another band called the Mild High Club, who are another Australian band that are worth checking out. I mean, there's so much great music coming out of Australia at the moment. You know, Tame Impala. I showed the Parcels the other week. You know, the band called Spoon. You know, it's endless really, the Australian scene. It's really exciting. There's some great stuff coming out. They got the name King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard from the first gig. They were going to just call themselves Gizzard, but they couldn't really properly agree on that. So they used the nickname of Jim Morrison, which was the Lizard King. So that's why they come up with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, you know. And like I say, I think a name of a band can sometimes put people off, but get past the name and give them a listen, because I highly, highly recommend this band. So yeah, delighted to pick this up, and yeah, I've been playing it a lot. So that's it for me. Like I say, my next video will be showing stuff that I picked up in Manchester when I met Callum Rhodes. Like I say, a lovely guy, 21 years old, and discovering music, and you know, he's into Pink Floyd and the Smiths and New Order. It was great meeting him and his girlfriend. And yeah, it's been it was a delight. It's funny, you know, I've heard of other people meeting people on the VC, but so soon into my life on the VC to meet somebody, and it'd be such a nice experience. You know, it's a great thing, this VC. So yeah, I'd just like to thank all my new subscribers. Thanks for commenting and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye for now.